Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another edition of the All Genre Music Fest. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a distinguished panel. Of course, we always have a distinguished panel here at the All Genre Music Festival. And in this one here, we have a very special guest sitting in on this one, and that would be Professor Joe. How you doing, Pro Joe?
Doing well. It's going to be fun to continue the podcast going. I've been doing a few, well, more than a few,
Your
different amount of music reactions on our channel, so that's been fun to do. So yeah, it's fun to do the longer podcasts and have the co-host on and not just be talking by myself all the time.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing, but you do some good reviews on some of the music that you're listening to. So
yeah, we got some
too.
comments. We got a request for a song here. I'll see if either of you know, because I didn't know the song. Aesthetic Perfection, Gods and Gold.
I don't know that one.
Somebody razz Rihanna Spears when I did the Here's to Never Growing Up, Avril Lavigne. Check that out, by the way, people, if you want to check out the shorter video. The reaction, she commented about that being a good reaction and requested that. So that's something I'll be doing in the future because she requested that. And then my one friend requested a Jimmy Eat World song, so that'll be coming up in the future too.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Eat World was so great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Stuff actually is making a comeback too. So yeah, I think those are some of the things we'll be doing. But anyway, we're here to talk about some of our guilty pleasures, which I'm interested to see because I think everybody might have a little bit of a different definition of what a guilty pleasure is too. And that's kind of the fun thing about music, just like it is in sports, which is why I adore both communities the same.
Exactly.
It's different for each person, what they feel about a song and what they feel about the definition of each kind of word, like guilty pleasure, because it could mean something different to each three of us. So I'm interested to see that as well.
Me too. Also on the panel for this episode is Ronece. How you doing, Ronece?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Oh man, we're doing.
All right.
You ready to talk about some of your
guilty pleasures? Absolutely.
So now that we're on the subject.
Okay.
And Joe brought it up before and earlier, and so we need to define what a guilty pleasure is. Okay?
Well,
and so I'm sure we're all going to have our own little different version of a guilty pleasure. Okay? So let's start off with, Joe, what is your definition of a guilty pleasure?
I feel like a guilty pleasure to me is one of those songs. I mean, I kind of had two definitions for growing up. One was any song or line of music your friend base that really knows you would not expect you to listen to, but you rock out to, you really jam to, you really vibe to, depending on the type of music it is. You really chill to. So I feel like that could be one. Another is kind of the more over-encompassing definition of guilty pleasure, which is more like, oh, this is like one of those cool, but like a lot of people don't like this song, but I like this song, or it's in a category. But I feel like they kind of blend into those two. It's like, oh, a lot of people wouldn't expect me to like this song, but I do. Like, for a lot of people, certain old school Taylor Swift could be guilty pleasures, but also a lot of people really like old school Taylor Swift. So it depends on what side of the boat you're on, and I think that applies for most, unless if you do maybe Shake It by Metro Station as a guilty pleasure, where that typically was more of a let's just dance and vibe, where it gets annoyingly repetitive if you just listen to that song back to back. It's just going shake, 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 shake it for 5 minutes.
Because there's some music that's like that.
So like it's like a fine song if you're in a dance hall, but like otherwise, you don't want to really.
You don't want to write.
I think it kind of depends on that, but that's kind of how I would define it. Like anything that doesn't necessarily fit into your realm, but is kind of your guilty pleasure just because you really like that person, or an artist. You could have a guilty pleasure artist as a whole too. Like mine's Boys Like Girls, so that kind of fits into that category, and I'll dive that into one of my songs. That's why I figured I would bring them up. Like you can have guilty pleasure artists. I think too. Backstreet Boys are a lot of people's guilty pleasure artists.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I've listened to
another one. Big Time Rush is a lot of people's guilty pleasure artists. From some people I know, the old Nickelodeon band. So there's a lot of guilty pleasure artists.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so now, Ronese, what would be your say definition of a guilty pleasure or?
It's very close to what Joe just said. That it's either a song that people that know you go, "Why are you listening to that?" Or
Yeah.
it's a song that everybody else kind of they're not real um, big on it, but you're like, "Yeah, I like them. I like this song. This is cool. It makes me happy." A guilty pleasure has to do something like make you smile because it's associated with a memory, or it's something that makes you feel good, or it's something
Okay.
that brings you a little bit of joy that normally people wouldn't think would.
Exactly, because it's called a pleasure. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it has to be something that, obviously is going to be, something that's good, something that you're going to like. And I'm going to have to, completely copy those sentiments by both of our esteemed panel here by saying that, yes, it has to be something that maybe not necessarily, everybody that would look at you and say, wow, you're listening to that song? Like that song's on your playlist?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that song's on my playlist. You know what I mean? Or something that, kind of maybe is not necessarily the best tune in the whole world, but you still dig it, or something like that. And I think we got a bit of a combination. I know we do. I'm very interested to hear what your songs are, Joe. So I think we're all on the same page when it comes to the guilty pleasures. What do you guys think?
I think so. I think we got it covered.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go with Joe first with his. We're going to do 3 songs apiece.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So your first guilty pleasure song, Joe.
That was my thing. Is this working now?
Yes,
yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
he's back.
Okay.
He's back.
Yeah, my thing. No, my thing. The reason I mentioned Boys Like Girls is it goes hand in hand with this song where one of my guilty pleasure songs also goes hand in hand with somebody that's a distant relative of our family, fifth cousin on my my uncle's side of the Baldy side. Taylor Swift and Boys Like Girls, and 2 is better than 1. So,
Okay.
Boys Like Girls, I believe they dated back in the day, Taylor Swift and their singer. I could be wrong on that, but she also dated a lot of people. But Taylor Swift in general tends to be a guilty pleasure artist for me, and then Boys Like Girls tends to be a guilty pleasure band for me. So obviously, when you mash both of them together, it's probably going to result in being a guilty pleasure song for me. So 2 is better than 1, which came out a minute ago now. It's been out for a while because Boys Like Girls, a band of group, I would say that's at least 2009. I just looked it up. So it's been out for a bit. But that song's really cool because the message of it. So that's actually a song. I don't want to get into it too much because I'm going to put that into one of our reactions on our thing. But the message of that song is very good, where the title kind of just says it all. So I just leave it at that until I do the actual reaction for
it. Right. Well, that's cool, man. I like it. I can dig it. All right. So now, Ronese.
Yes.
We need a number 1 guilty pleasure song, band, whatever. Give it to me. One. Give me one.
Well, I'm going to start with one, and I have to give you a little backstory on this. This is why it's a guilty pleasure. When I first started dating someone, I had what I refer to as an earworm. Like, I had this song in my head, couldn't get rid of it, was driving me crazy, and it was the song Godzilla. And I mentioned that to someone, and so he decided that he would just play it for me, just to, make it really cement my earworm in my head. So now whenever I get an earworm or something that I can't get out of my head, I'll start playing Godzilla because it helps. Like, it's my counteract of the earworm song. So it's my guilty pleasure because it's one that I really just love listening to because it just makes me laugh. Because it's such a silly song. And it's Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult, thank you. Yeah. So that's my first one, is just because it's a silly song that makes me laugh. And that's my song.
Okay, cool.
How about you, Steel?
Well, let's see here. I don't have quite the interesting backstory that you do. on my song. And I thought about this for a long time, and one of the songs that I thought would be a song from AC/DC, but then I thought no, because AC/DC is a pretty well-known band, and not too many people don't. I mean, people that listen to AC/DC pretty much tend to like AC/DC.
Right.
That's kind of why they're listening to AC/DC. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought, all right, I'll go a little different, and I I have to go with one that I'm constantly singing around the house all the time, and it's gonna go way back, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but okay, it's a one-hit wonder from Carl Douglas. Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
Those cats were fast as lightning. Okay, so that's because I don't care. Whenever that song comes on, I mean, it gets cranked. When I'm listening to that song, everybody else is listening to that song. Okay. So that's my number one. Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas.
Alrighty.
that one definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what? You listen to that song? You're digging that song? Like you're bopping to that? Like, yeah, I am. All right. So Joe, you're number two.
Yeah, I think I was gonna have similar to you. There was a popular artist I was gonna have as number two, but because I thought it fell into guilty pleasure for me, but one that I think kind of falls into it, where this is a song that I didn't put it out yet for review, but I'm probably also going to do it. Another one that I would say is kind of guilty pleasure is the one that I did here is the Never Growing Up, because Avril Lavigne has other popular songs than that one, but that's one that I particularly really like. But Falls on Me by Fuel is one that I always like because of the message. I was going to put in If I Were a Boy by Beyonce, because that's a song that I particularly like listening to, and it's not like I'm a regular constant listener of Beyonce. Not that I dislike Beyonce by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Actually, a funny story about Beyonce, since this is a music podcast, people like side tidbits. When we were at Oregon Steaks, we ended up getting steaks with my buddy the other day, and some girl named Allie really liked Beyonce. So we ended up singing If I Were a Boy literally outside of Oregon Steaks at, I want to say, 1:15 in the morning.
Well, there you go then.
So her Uber just kept regenerating, so we ended up driving her home to Rittenhouse, and she just blasted Beyonce for 10 minutes straight in my car, like the loudest my car could go up to. Beyonce was just on as we were going down to Rittenhouse. So definitely that's why Beyonce was on my mind. But that one kind of just fits into my own guilty pleasures, because not everybody would expect that. Like, I remember when I first started really listening to that, my one friend was like, "Damn, you really like this song?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a really good song." So that's why I kind of wanted to mention that one. So that's kind of my bonus song. So everybody else can kind of have a bonus fourth song now. But when it comes to the rest, Falls on Me, because the way that like chorus is, where it's like, and all of your weight, all of your dream falls on me. It falls on me. Like that, the way that hits you, and then it goes into, and your beautiful sky, the light you bring, it falls on me. It falls on me. You can tell I sung this song a lot. But like it's a song
once or twice.
It's a song that really hits you with the message, because there's always somebody in your life that you feel all of their weight, all of their dreams, all of their whatever, whether it's your significant other or a very significant friend, like a very good best friend, that as much as it, like, their hardships falls on them, it falls on you, because that's how close friendship is, or how close loving somebody is, depending which scenario you're talking about. So I feel like that song kind of really hits that. Cool, man. So yeah, that's why that song's always been. Fuel's not the most popular band, but they're a band that when they're around, I would, if they still ever come around.
I've actually seen them play live, and so I mean they played really well live. They sound very much like their studio albums. They sound very much the same live as they do in the studio.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Okay,
mean?
well, that's exactly what I like to hear to go see a band, so I'll definitely see them.
Yeah, like if
Then
you
that's
get a
why I got to
chance,
see Breaking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you get a chance to go see them, I would highly recommend. I'm checking that out for sure, for sure.
That's why I got to see Breaking Benjamin at some point because that's what my boy told me that they're amazing live and sound very similar. But I think now, since I gave the extra bonuses, I'll give Ronece what's your second song. That if you want to give a bonus song, you can throw that one in there as well.
Okay, well, my bonus would be I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, just because
Okay, that's a good one. That is.
it's not one that everybody doesn't like, or, most people get, but it's just such a, I don't know, anthem song for me. Like when, you're having a bad day and you can put that on. And the funny thing is, I'll tell this to Joe because Ron won't understand. But on my playlist, the song before that is I Will Not Bow. I Will Not Bow by Breaking Ben. So I have I Will Not Bow and I Will Survive are like bookends. And when I'm really having a bad day,
Yeah,
this song.
that's a cool. Yeah, I think bookends is the perfect way to describe it too, because those are two completely different songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like played back to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of my bonus guilty pleasure.
All right, so then what will be your second then?
My second is, this is one of those songs that people look at you and go, "What? You like that song?" It's Kid Rock about
Ball with the ball.
Yeah, I can never say it correctly. I can sing it, I can't say it. But yeah, that one, it comes on and it's just full volumes, going down the road singing my head off because it's just such a fun song.
Yeah, that's everybody's Kid Rock song that everybody, even people that don't like Kid Rock, tend to
like that song. Yeah.
It's easy to bang your head to, and it's been in different like memes and stuff or whatever that you just see people head banging. So yeah, I feel like that song. You had three pretty good ones there because you went with the Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. You went with I Will Not Bow, and then you went with Ball.
But the I Will Not Bow though is not a guilty pleasure song.
Well,
technically not. Yeah.
No, but it's still. It's kind of the combination of the two.
But that kind of fits into the If I Were a Boy. Yeah, that kind of fits into the I Will Not Bow kind of fits into the If I Were a Boy category because for her, like, it could be a guilty pleasure just like if I were, like, people wouldn't expect. Granted, I feel like from Ronece's style of music, I would expect her to listen to Breaking Benjamin more than people would expect me to heavily listen.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know. But
no, that makes sense because that's actually very true though.
Because all three of them would be anthems because like I Will Not Bow, the chorus is I will not bow, I will not break, and then I can't remember the rest. I think it's I will not take your life away or something like that.
Yeah.
But like the chorus, meaningful.
It's a good song.
So like, it's a screamer that has the chorus line of more melodramatic songs, which is why Breaking Benjamin is so good because most of his songs are loud or emphatic with the chorus and
thick and heavy
lyrics. Mellow song, yeah. So that's why
heavy,
it's a cool combination.
Yeah, very thick, heavy, deep chords,
and very serious topics.
Topic.
Anyway, so your Steel, what's your third?
Second.
Excuse me, second.
Okay.
Second extra mode.
And your extra.
Okay. All right. So I gotta flip the page here because I had them written down here and then. What's the next one I have? Is it
the Billy Squier one?
Yeah. All right. So my second song is a very old song from Billy Squier. It goes back quite a long ways, and it's "The Stroke" from Billy Squier.
Is that your guilty? Is that your?
No, that's not my bonus.
Okay.
That's not my bonus. Okay, that's my second guilty pleasure song,
The
Stroke from Billy Squier. Okay, and I would have to say that bonus would probably be "Love to Love You Baby" by Donna Summer.
Really?
Oh my gosh. You would look at me and go, "Wow, you listening to Donna Summer? Yeah, all right." I mean, but that song, I mean, I had such a crush on her when I was way younger, and and there's just something about that song that just I don't know. But
All
so that's my bonus song is Donna Summer, Love to Love You Baby. But my second guilty pleasure song is Billy Squier, The Stroke.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right.
That's my second one plus my bonus. So Joe, what's your third one?
Yeah, my third one, I was between a couple for this one, but I feel like one that I will end up doing just because I tended to listen to this one a lot is the one that's Lil Wayne and Bruno Mars, which is Mirror. That's one that I tended to, as in the rap genre. Well, Lil Wayne's side is rap, Bruno's is singing. But in the mix, I guess, if you want to call for that duet. In the rap genre, Lil Wayne's always been one of more of my, who's also done a rock album way back in the day, but that's a different story for a different time. Lil Wayne was a guy that I always, and still do, I don't know why I said was, like listening to in that genre of music. Him, Wiz Khalifa, all those people, you can tell probably a hobby activity I'm into with the rappers I'm naming. But anyway, they fit into the style of stuff I like on that side. And that song always just sounded cool. And I like how Lil Wayne at the end kind of talks to, I forget who he shouts out, but like how like the one guy was saying he could never get Bruno Mars and how he got Bruno Mars for the song. I thought that was a pretty funny diss at the end of the track too, in terms of a fun track all along, and then there was a funny diss by Wayne thrown in at the end. So
Nice.
I thought that was pretty cool that he did get Bruno on the track. So I think that's kind of why that was one of my, because it's just such a vibing song. And I think if anybody listens to that or has listened to it, they'll know what I mean. Like the way that the song has a cool, chill beat and the lyrics of it just blend perfectly.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome, dude, man. We have really gone from, I mean, I think we've gone all over the place here from almost every single genre I think we've touched on already. You know what I mean? And so, wow, okay. Man. So Ronece,
I think I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
So what's your third?
My third song. Okay, so I'm going to give another bonus track.
No. Just your third.
Just my third. All right, I was give another bonus one, but I'll just give my third one, okay? So this is I know all of my songs are like old.
Yeah, but you're old, so.
Well, all right. It's Ballroom Blitz by Sweet. And I don't care wherever you are, you hear that song, you're turning that song up.
Yep.
And you're tapping your feet and you're bopping along because that's just,
because it's a ballroom.
It's just, it's a ballroom blitz. It's a ballroom blitz. I mean, like I can't even tell you how many times I heard this song when I was a kid growing up, and it's just always one of those ones that stuck with me. So I'll say that's my third. Guilty pleasure song is Ballroom Blitz by Sweet.
There you go.
Yeah, technically whatever number we all have, since we all mentioned an X number of songs as bonuses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's one of my guilty pleasure songs. Is that one. So, all right, so Ronece now. So here we go.
Okay. This is gonna be odd, but I did grow up in the 80s, so it's a song by Culture Club, and it's Karma Chameleon.
Oh. Well, there you go.
That's it's just one of those, I don't know, it just makes me smile.
That does get easily stuck in your head. Like, come. You mean that song,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't remember all the
Yeah, right?
Come a camellia. Yeah, that song, like, yeah, that's easy to
Exactly.
There
read.
you
I haven't
go.
listened to
You
that in
got
probably
it.
eight.
You got
I
it.
haven't listened to that in probably 8 years, and that song's easy to get back in your head.
That is.
See, that's how we do it. That's
See,
what we
and-
call them worms, man, because they get in your head, like Godzilla, and that song gets in your head, or you get some stupid commercial that gets in your head, and you have to come back and quick type
That's
in.
another show actually that we have to do in the future. Speaking of getting songs
Yeah.
that always get stuck in your head, because there's a lot of songs that if you just
Yes.
hear it for the first time,
Because I was just gonna say, like, I get a song stuck in my head, and I come back here and I turn on Godzilla or something just so I can get rid of that song,
I-
I like that idea though for a show though, like songs that get stuck in your head and you can't get them out.
maybe we could take some suggestions from the comments.
Oh yeah, there you go.
From what's
yeah, that
your
would be good. People comment over on YouTube because there's no comments in Spotify. So
I-
over on YouTube,
on a YouTube.
comments,
Right.
yeah, for us, on
So
what
maybe
you
we
think.
can
We
make,
appreciate
like,
the comments we've had. Go ahead.
yeah, maybe we can make a little promo show that just says, "Hey, why don't you guys out there have some suggestions on what are songs that get stuck in your
Yeah.
head?" Yeah, all
I'll
right.
I
start
mean,
mentioning
listen
it
to
too
them and-
whenever I do the reviews. I'll mention it, like send comments in this for any songs that normally get stuck in your head, and we'll talk about them on that episode too, because
Okay.
those have been getting. So I'll try to mention it out in that. But
Yeah.
we definitely thank you all for joining us for the Guilty Pleasures episode. Steel, I don't know if we had any final thoughts on any music or any. Did we want to shout out? We did a bunch of songs. Did we want to shout out as a final thing going out if we have a guilty pleasure band or artist as a whole? Because I don't know if anybody has one of those. We
I
just
have
did
a guilty pleasure band.
Yeah, Ronece does. I probably do too, but go ahead.
My guilty pleasure band is, and don't yell at me, but it's Nickelback. I enjoy listening to
Okay.
Nickelback, and I would go see them in concert if I got the opportunity. I don't think they're as horrible as everybody says, but I enjoy them, and that's my guilty pleasure band.
Nickelback's kind of an easily picked. They're like Creed. They're an easily picked on band by most people. I don't think they're necessarily either of them are bad. They're just easy to pick on. Like for example,
Right.
if I had like a band that I listen to a lot that I could probably throw into my guilty pleasure list. That's not Boys Like Girls. That's in the same guys as Nickelback is Creed, because I tend to listen to Creed a lot. So if you put them in guilty pleasure, they could get thrown into guilty pleasure. But
Yeah.
it would either be them or Boys Like Girls, because a lot of people hate on Creed too. But still,
Yeah.
I don't know if you had a.
Gosh, I
guilty
don't know if
pleasure
I
for
really
it.
have a band. Per
It could be
se.
an artist too. It doesn't have to be a
It could
band.
just be a person.
Um,
You kind of mentioned it with like Donna Summer, like as somebody that you wouldn't necessarily be seen as listening to on a regular basis, or you know what I mean?
Let's see, like now I've listened to I've listened to some Salt and Pepper songs that I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Early '90s, and
yeah, right. I've listened to some Queen Latifah songs
yeah,
that I've liked. I've listened to some Missy Misdemeanor songs that I've liked. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Some of the stuff that even like some of the really newer, like, I mean, I guess this is guilty pleasure, but like some of the dance music that Madonna was doing,
yeah.
some of that was I mean, I've always kind of had a liking to electronic or trance or vocal trance or something like that, and so listening to some of that kind of music has some of that same kind of beat to it, or that kind of, it's not quite dubstep, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not house, and it's not, but it's just kind of like
boots and pants and boots and pants.
yeah, it's just trance, it's just vocal, but it's got some good vocals in it and stuff like
Mhm.
that too, you know what I mean? So yeah,
You're picking a whole genre as your guilty pleasure.
I'm picking like I guess they would be what black female soul artists, or maybe I guess they kind of dabble in rap. I mean, Salt and Pepper, I guess they're rap.
No, they're R&B, and
No, that would be R&B. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, but Missy Misdemeanor is pretty much
that again.
she's rap, right?
No, she's still. I don't think I would. I don't know.
What
because
about Queen Latifah? Like some of her stuff was pretty good too.
some of her stuff was rap? Yeah, I'll give you that.
Some of her,
okay, so-
some of
Yeah.
Latifah's stuff was rap. Yeah, it
Okay,
depends on-
all right. So there you go. All right, so that would be kind of some of my
As you're not
I
expected.
I don't have a band per se. I
Yeah.
guess you could say those would be some
song I
bands.
actually left out if we were going off of Soul. Sharon Jones, and the Dap Kings have a lot of people talk about other people's version of Midnight Rider, but they have a very good version of the
Yeah,
song Midnight
yeah,
Rider.
yeah.
So that's
Very
another
much
one that
so
we could have
too. Yeah,
included
yeah,
in
yeah.
the guilty pleasure songs list, mostly because that falls into the guilty pleasure. But I don't think many people know about that version either.
Right. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, well, wow, man, there you go. We had some great guilty pleasures after we defined what a guilty pleasure was. You know what I mean? I think we got a really good round of songs, bands, music, all kinds of great things to talk about. Listen, folks, please hit the like and subscribe. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section, especially if you're on YouTube. Okay, if you're on Spotify, just hit the 5-star button, because that helps to get us rated. And so the better ratings we get, the more chances you guys have of getting to see the newest and greatest episode. So thank you all very much for Pro Joe. Where can we find you, Pro Joe?
You can find me at JJBorick26 on Twitter, at my sports YouTube page, Sports Fanatic News, and of course doing the song reactions and pretty soon different stuff in terms of coverage of stuff for All Genre Music Fest YouTube, and then eventually under throw this out here on this one if anyone can figure out the initials. GZ are the initials for what I'll eventually call myself when I start putting out music, if you can figure that out. Maybe you get a
Okay.
cookie. I'm not giving you a award or anything, but maybe you get a medal, an
There we
honorary
go.
medal that
Cool.
like Peerless does. You get those on. You get an honorary medal from me instead of honorary pearls that don't exist. So there we go. That's what you're.
Hey, all right, whatever. I mean, honorary pearls are good too. You know what I'm saying? So, thanks everybody for checking us out. Thank you, Ronece, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you
Oh,
for
you bet.
listening.
You got it, for sure. I'm Steel Flyers. Thanks everybody for checking us out. We'll catch you all on the next episode of the All Genre Music Fest. Thanks, everyone.